New Zealand, you are not ready for November 2026. The spirit world is showing me a timeline no politician is talking about. I see a hung parliament that leaves the country without a leader for 23 days. I see a great emergency in July that turns the lights off in the southern island. And I see a massive housing freeze returning in June that will catch every renter off guard. If you think the cost of living crisis is over, you need to watch this video. I have a specific psychic predictions for New Zealand that reveal exactly what is coming for your money, your safety, and your government. First of all, I'm picking up something in November 2026. It's like the election in November 2026 will end with no clear winner. Neither major parties will have enough votes to actually rule alone. I don't see that, votes is going to be enough to rule alone. And I see that it's going to take at least like 23 days of arguing to before like a government is going to be formed or something like that. Someone should let me know if New Zealand and Australia have the same kind of like ministers and leader. That's what I'm picking up, that they have the same kind of a thing, like it's two countries but one government rules both. Something like that is what I'm picking up in that regards. I'm also picking up something in May. By May, I'm seeing that food, rent will be so expensive that people will snap. It's like I'm seeing thousands of people marching to Parliament. I'm seeing that they are marching to Parliament, shutting down Wellington City for like 3 days. That is what I'm seeing happening, that a lot of people will be shutting down Wellington City by marching to, Parliament. That is what I see happening. I'm also seeing that there's going to be like a food promise, like in July 2026, that to win the election, a Labour Party will promise to take, the taxes off fresh foods. That's what I'm seeing, that they were going to promise that, and they were going to use like digital trackers to make sure supermarkets actually lower their prices. That is what I see happening, that it's going to be part of something that is going to be happening. Just before the election, I'm seeing something just before the election. I see the timeline as August 2026, and this is in New Zealand. There's going to be like a big leadership fight in I'm seeing something like in the ACT party. I don't know if they have a party called ACT, but I'm seeing ACT. I don't know if it's a symbolism that I'm seeing, but I'm seeing ACT. It's going to be the fight is going to be over like school policies. It will help, like it will help their chances of winning. That is what I see happening in that regards. That's what I see. I don't know if you guys can let me know if there's any ACT party in New Zealand. I'm also seeing like there's going to be a top government minister will suddenly quit, saying it is for family reasons. That's what I'm seeing happening. But the real reason is going to be like a secret conflict of interest involving money. This is the reason why I was asking if, New Zealand and Australia have the same government, because I'm picking up almost the same thing in that regards for New Zealand as well. The government will, I'm seeing that the government will suggest a new tax or something like that, maybe on wealth or digital services. It will start huge argument at family dinner tables all over the country. This is something that I see happening, that and this timeline, I'm seeing it as mid of 2026, happening of mid of 2026. It's happening that there's going to be like an introduction of new tax, where this is going to be a huge issue, where family people at dinner is going to have conversation about that. I'm also picking something very, very kind of strange in terms of something. I want to get a clear thing about it. I'm seeing like housing, and a lot of people are rushing to houses. It's like there's going to be like a housing boom. I see like interest rates will drop faster than expected. That is what I'm seeing happening in New Zealand in 2026. I see this somewhere in the mid of 2026, that there's going to be interest rate is going to drop faster than expected. This will cause like a winter freezy, where house prices in New Zealand will drop by at least, I'm seeing 7% in just few months. That is what I actually see happening in that regards. I'm also seeing like there's going to be like a big supermarket scandal. That's what I see. Like a big supermarket chain will get into trouble, where buying land just stop other shops from opening. That's what I'm seeing, that people will be very, very furious. This is going to be happening in New Zealand in 2026. That is what I see happening. I'm seeing the timeline somewhere in September. Don't put me on the timeline. I'm trying to put uniqueness on my prediction in terms of my vibration and stuff, but that is what I see. I'm also seeing something that is going to be happening in July of 2026 in New Zealand. I'm seeing that a Christian church company that makes special food to stop, cows from something like that, will sign a multi-dollar deal with Europe. I'm seeing that. I don't know what they do with cows, but it's like they are doing something with cows. I'm unable to explain what I'm seeing, but that is what I see happening, that they are going to, the mere fact is that they are going to sign a multi-dollar deal with an European country. I'm also seeing there's going to be like it's like I'm seeing something disappears, like backpackers will disappear. Uh, is going to be replaced by super rich American tourists. That is what I'm actually seeing happening. I'm seeing like a viral TikTok trend will make places like I don't know their former places, like Wakanda or something. Do they have something like Wanaka or Wakanda? Like that's what I'm picking. I'm not seeing the full name. Famous for luxurious travel. It's like Wananka or something. If somebody should let me know if they have something like that in New Zealand, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing in July 2026, for the first time in years, more Kiwis. I don't know if you know what Kiwis is. Will move back home from Australia, then leave again, because jobs over there are drying up. That is what I actually see happening, like Kiwi stuff. I'm also seeing that the dollar is going to drop. I'm seeing dollar drop. Like I see like crisis overseas will make the New Zealand dollar drop sharply. Petrol prices will spike overnight. That is what I'm seeing happening. I'm seeing the timeline. I don't know if it's October or something like that. That's what I'm picking up in that regards. I'm also seeing that there's going to be a farm sale protest that is going to be happening somewhere in mid of 2026. I'm seeing the large piece of New Zealand farmland will be sold to a foreign company. That is going to spark protests about who really owns the land. That is what I see happening in New Zealand in 2026. I'm also seeing that there's going to be like a digital trade deal, where New Zealand will sign a big deal with Asian. It's like an Asian to sell like digital services. It's like an Asian country to sell digital services. This will help local tech companies grow very fast. This is something that I see happening in New Zealand in 2026. While I'm speaking on that, I'm seeing something like a big tech move in a famous overseas tech or like gaming company will open a huge office in Wellington. I'm seeing something like Wellington, or do they have something like Auckland or something like that in New Zealand? I don't know the names. I've never visited New Zealand, but I'm picking that it's like Auckland, AUC and something land. Like this kind of gaming company will create a lot of hundreds of jobs for students and stuff like that in that like Wellington and Auckland or something like that. Um, I'm seeing like a visa reset that is going to be happening. Like I'm seeing that uh there's going to be like need of like nurses and computer experts. The government will announce like a new fast track visa to bring like workers quickly. There's going to be like the way, Americans have like the visa lotteries where it brings people into the country, and Canada also have something in terms of, I think maybe uh London or US or something. They also have something in that regards. Like people are coming in. I see something also coming in for New Zealand where workers will be coming quickly, and then the government will be putting some measures in place for that to be happening in a very fast scale or something in that regards. I'm seeing also like a disaster that is going to be happening. I'm seeing it's like right after Easter. I'm seeing like a major ferry between North and South Island will break down. That is what I'm seeing happening. I don't know if there's any ferry. There's like thousands of family will be stuck sleeping like in their cars for a while. That is what I see happening. I'm seeing it between the North and South Island thereabout. Like this is going to be right after Easter. That is what I see. I'm also seeing like a power crisis happening in New Zealand. I'm seeing it as if there's going to be a freezing winter storm, right? That will hit when the hydro lakes are low. This is what I see happening. And then the power company will declare an emergency, and some rural areas will lose electricity. This is what I see happening. It's going to be within the winter. I think we are in there about. It's a winter storm. It's not within the winter season because I'm seeing the timeline as July. I don't know where July is more of a summer time, but that's what I'm seeing happening. But I'm also seeing like a train station, something happening with a train station. I'm seeing like there's going to be like a new city or a new city railway link to Auckland. I'm always seeing this name Auckland. Someone should confirm in the comment section if there is something called Auckland in New Zealand. I'm seeing that a new railway link will open in Auckland, will finally open in Auckland, but on day one, like a signal failure will cause chaos. I don't know when, if somebody know and they are listening, they should let them, kind of test it very well. But I see that you guys shouldn't worry. There's going to be fixed eventually. This thing is going to be fixed rapidly. It's something that I see happening. I'm also seeing like a truck drivers protesting, like truck drivers. Do they have like truck drivers association or something like that? I'm seeing group of truck drivers protesting somewhere very early in the beginning of the year, um, um, about road taxes, or blocks of highway, something in that regards. And I'm seeing this happening somewhere in, the name comes like Turanga or something, Tuanga or something like that. That is what I'm seeing happening. And then it's like supermarkets were out of food or in that week, and this is going to be happening for a week. That is something that I see happening. I'm also seeing like a electrical plane. I don't know if there's electrical. This is going to be late of 2026. Like an Air New Zealand will make headlines by flying an electrical or hydrogen plane between Wellington and this thing Nelson. I'm seeing something like that. Please forgive me if I'm not getting the name correctly, but I'm seeing them in. I know how I'm seeing them. A psychic who sees, who has clairvoyancy in terms of deeper clairvoyancy, knows what I'm talking about. I'm also seeing like a tunnel approval, like a massive project. It's like a new tunnel under like the same Auckland harbor. Will finally get a green light to actually start building. That is what I see happening in New Zealand in 2026. I'm also seeing like a hospital upgrade. There's going to be an upgrade. It's a specific hospital, right? And then the government will announce billions of dollars to fix like old and upgrade their computer system. This is something that I see happening. So it's something that I see happening, and I'm the type that do not listen to the news. So if I'm picking this thing up and I make mistakes and then I'm getting it, we see in parts, and then I cannot predict in parts as well. So I try to make it as fun as possible. So when you get some of these things, try to, work with me and, put it in the comment section so that I can get the name correctly and people can know what I'm actually talking about. So help me to help you, kind of navigate the future and then also listen to the future news on this channel. I'm also seeing like flood returns, like heavy rains are going to be returning. I see heavy rains will sit over the North Island again. I see this happening. Like, I don't know. I see the name C is like Coromandel or something. I don't know what the name is. And then there's another name, Haki Bay or Haki's Bay or something like that. Will face like flash floods with helicopters rescuing people from roofs. That is what I see happening and stuff like that. You can correct me with the name. I see like Coromendo or something like that. That's what I see. And then Haki's Bay or something. I see a heavy snake, like a very big one. I see like an earthquake. Like I see a strong earthquake will shake the South Island or Washington. This won't destroy buildings, but it will scare everyone into building emergency kits. This is something that I see happening in that regards. I'm also seeing something like whilst the north floods, the south will dry, and then I see drought in let me see if I can mention the name Canterbury or something like. I don't know the names. Never been there before, but the way I see them, I see the writings in parts, and it's kind of in the heavy writings. People like correct clairvoyance know what I'm talking about. I think it was going to follow a scary fire near like a campground in Nelson. I see it like a campground in Nelson. I'm also seeing like there's going to be like a freak blast of snow, something like a snow. I think I made this prediction for Australia too, in the hills of Wellington, and I see that this slips will make like airport be closed for some time. The airport will be closed for some time. It's not going to take a long time, but it's going to be closed for some time. I'm also seeing like scientists will raise an alert level of White Island, like alert level for White Island, and then another place called, it starts with an R. It's like RUA, and then we have P, and then I'm seeing some word and it ends with a U. I don't know what the name is. If you guys can let me know. I see that it's going to see like a huge steam of clouds, but no dangerous eruption yet. I see this happening. I'm also seeing something like a winter storm. It's going to be like a violent winter storm will rip across the lower northern islands, like snapping trees and cutting powers of thousands of homes. I see this actually happening, and that is what I see happening in that regards. That's what I'm picking up at the moment. I'm also seeing like there's going to be like a real natural event, like a glowing blue waves or like a southern lights. I see this will appear further north than usual. That is what I see happening. And this is going to go viral on specifically on Instagram. But that the way Instagram is, that is how this thing is going to go viral on those on that platform. That are kind of a thing. Those platform who has those kind of layouts. That's what I'm picking up. I'm also seeing like a bird comeback. Like I'm seeing like a real bird species. I don't know what the name is. It's like is it like kakapo or something like that? Like the kakapo will have like a surprise baby boom, something in that regards in New Zealand. This is something I see happening in New Zealand. And in New Zealand also, I'm seeing like a road closure, like weeks of rain will cause a major like road to collapse. I see road collapsing, cutting off supplies to the town for weeks. Something that I see happening in New Zealand. In that regards, in New Zealand, this is going to be happening where there's going to be like a road collapse. I don't know how it's going to happen. Like the way I predicted for the bridge in China to collapse, the bridge collapsed. Yeah, so kind of take some of my predictions very seriously. I see it in parts, but the way I communicate it with you, you got to be a little bit patient. I'm seeing like a television. Is it Marik TV or something? I see it go global. Like they are going to make a show that becomes a hit around the world. At the same time, I see like a I see like a group. It start with a K, Haki or something group will spike a debate with a controversy of new performance. There's something that I see. And I'm also seeing the same name, right? The same name I made a prediction for Australia. I don't know why. Is it New Zealand? I did the same with Australia. I want to be sure that of that. Kind of put it in the comment section below so that I can be able to know if they are the same. I'm seeing Ed Sheeran. I think I made this thing in January or somewhere, that it will bring a famous like a famous singer on stage at the Eden Park. That's what I see. Their song together will become like an anthem for the summer. This is something I see happening for the summer. I'm also seeing like a mental health breakthrough. This is something I predicted already. That the New Zealand study will utilize like micro. There's going to be that discovery where they are going to help those who are in depression and stuff like that. That is going to be happening. I'm also seeing something in terms of rugby or something like that in September. I see that the All Blacks will suffer a shock loss to a team they usually beat. I see this happening for that, and fans will call for the coach to actually be fired. This is something that I see happening. I'm seeing that in Hollywood, in West Auckland, a massive fantasy TV will announce they are moving their films to West Auckland. That is what I see happening. It's going to create a tons of job in that very region or in that very sector. That is something that I actually see happening. Let me see if I can pick just a few. I wanted to keep it in a specific time zone. Let me see if because I see some of the things coming in, but I can't mention the name of some of these things that are coming in. I'm seeing I don't know if it's a town or something. It's like Waitingi or something like that. A Waitingi Day. I'm seeing something like a Waitingi Day will surprisingly be peaceful. Like a young leader will give a powerful speech about unity that goes viral. This is something that I actually seen. Let me see. I'm picking something for cyber warning as well. The government will issue like a warning about foreign hackers trying to break into their like into New Zealand banks. I see this actually happen, and this is going to be a wake-up call for businesses. This is something that I actually see happening. Let me see if I can pick two more. If I can't pick two more, that will be the end. I wanted to pick something for science, but I don't know. I think I don't know, but I'm seeing something like science wins Kiwi scientists will help. Like I'm seeing something in terms of a puzzle or something in terms of climate change, like scientists within Kiwi scientists or something like. I don't know if Kiwi is a name of a place, a name of a hospital, a name of a university. I don't know, but I see Kiwi scientists. Like I see them helping in terms of climate change or genetics, something in regards to climate change or genetics. Let me pick this one up. I'm seeing something strange. It's like I'm seeing a meat pie, like a pie, right? And then the pie name it starts with a P. I don't know what a pie name, but this pie is going to go viral on TikTok. I don't know. The bakery is going to go viral on TikTok for selling that kind of a pie. And it's actually like a wild goat or a visit, something in that regards. And then a lot of tourists will actually love that pie that is going to be. So like this is something I pick for a bakery. This is where I bring the end of my psychic predictions for New Zealand for 2026. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and also don't forget to turn on your notification bell, and also check my wealth actually thin frequency below and try to get it to protect the energy around you. The energy around you is very, 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 very important, because that is what we see to see the thing that is going to happen in front of you. Because when you do a reading with me, it is the energy around you is what I'm picking up. Your energy determines your outcome. So if your energy around you is not good, your outcome always becomes very bad. So it is very important that people tell you that surround yourself with good people. That means good energy is very needed. So let the energy around you be very good. So that is why I recommend this wealth rituals for you, so that it keeps the energy around you very, very positive, so that positive things happens in your life. You can be certain to do something, but the energy around you will block that thing from happening. It is all because of the energy. That is why when you are born on a specific day, a specific time, your outcome determines the times you are born and things like that. Those are very powerful things. So it's important we circulate, or we surround ourselves with positive energy for positive outcome. Thank you guys for watching.